Hey guys, and welcome to Spit Talk. My name is Kyle,
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Louie.
and for today's episode, we will be. Let me know. Tweet at
Bear
us
with us,
who
bear
should do
with
the
us a little
who
bit.
should do the intros from now on.
We-
But anyways, today's episode, we shall be doing a tier list in regards to Quentin Tarantino movies. So
One of the greats.
we're on a Discord right now, so we're just kind of. I know for the podcast, a tier list is kind of counterintuitive, but you can just kind of listen along and visualize the tier list, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be going over all of the movies that Quentin Tarantino has directed. So that you want to go down the list, Louis?
Of his films. Yeah. So he has done in total, I want to say 9, right? Aaron, is it 9? Let me just count.
That's 10.
No. Oh, okay,
It's
so
10,
10. I guess
but Kill
10.
Bill is broken up into 2. So just to
So I
mention
guess,
that.
yeah, so 9 films, I guess. 10. That's here. So it's Reservoir Dogs, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill Volume 1, Kill Bill Volume 2, Pulp Fiction, The Hateful Eight, Django Unchained, Inglourious Bastards, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Death Proof.
And before we begin, we just want to say that this is a tier list that we all have to agree upon. So you might get a couple arguments. You might have a little like fights here and there. Some movies on the tier list, as I can see, or we can all see on our end, is there are some movies that we don't watch, and we kind of have that on file or on the tier listing that you see. So just wanted to mention that before we begin. So some movies we didn't watch, even though there's only like 9 films or 10.
Yeah, just so we can be fair. We don't want to put it on D, even we haven't even watched it yet. Yeah, so the ranking is from S to D, and I don't know why what does S stand for again? Super.
We want to say, superior.
Superior, yeah. So S, and then your regular A, B, C, D. Yeah. So we're gonna start off. Kyle, what's first?
I was gonna say let's kind of drag the ones that we haven't watched.
Okay.
Collectively.
So what haven't
I
you
haven't
watched?
watched Death. Was that?
Yeah,
Death
Death Proof. I can comfortably
Death
say
Proof?
I haven't watched that one.
Okay, I haven't watched that. You can put that in that
Did you
column.
watch-
Same. I haven't watched
shoot.
that one.
So Death Proof. Yeah, I know that Death Proof is like the one with he did it with Robert Rodriguez. If you don't know, I think he did Sin City. He's the Spy Kids guy.
Yeah, the Spike.
Yeah. So yeah, he did like
He's
it's like a
pretty good,
2-part
though.
film. Yeah, it's a 2-part
watch
movie, I
Mandalorian?
think. Oh hell yeah, dude. I forgot he directed one. Yeah. So yeah, he did that one with Robert Rodriguez, and we haven't watched it. So is there anything else? Because I feel like that's Jackie Brown. Did you guys watch Jackie
Yeah,
Brown?
I
Jackie
have
Brown.
not. No.
All right, yeah. I've been meaning to watch that one too, but we haven't watched it, so that's going on that part. And
I think we can work off the rest.
yeah, okay, shoot. So what's up first?
I don't want to start. All right.
Y-
Just go start with Django.
Yeah, we'll just go
Okay,
down
we'll
from
start
left
with-
to right. We'll go left to
okay.
right for this
Yeah,
one.
we'll go left
Yeah,
to right.
so these aren't in chronological order. We're just going off like what the order is on this list thing. And Django's first.
That's an S tier for me, bro.
Is it really S tier? Damn. All
If
right.
not my favorite Tarantino.
Oh man.
movie.
So that's
S tier compared to everything else. Like for me, it's just S tier. Unless you guys want to fight me for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna fight you a little bit.
I'll agree. It's up there for one of my favorites. I know Jan's favorite already, but I actually have it on Blu-ray. And it's S tier for you, but I think looking at just him and his filmography altogether, it can be an A for me, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
So what would you put? What would you put above it?
I would put
I'll tell you. Well, when we get
when we
there.
get to it. But for
Okay,
now,
okay.
I guess since this is the first one. We have free range to
Put it on-
change these.
Put it on A for now.
We'll put on
but
A for now.
I'll
but
fight you guys to put it.
Well,
into
we can
S.
change these. I'm gonna put this last. So the next one is Kill Bill Volume 1. I guess in relation to Django, where do you guys want to put that? Because I really enjoy Kill Bill Volume 1. But
let's
it
see.
depends, I guess.
Because I already have the list inside my head.
Oh yeah,
All of
okay.
this. So If I were to put Kill Bill 1, I'd put it on B.
You put it on B.
Yeah,
I'd
I was
put it
gonna
on
go
B.
that same route too. I would put it at B. Just because of Django, I prefer that story over Kill Bill. It had a slower start for some reason, compared to Django. But it does have a good middle, and ending was like pretty decent for me too. But comparing again to Django, I would put it at B. I wouldn't put it at a C or a D, honestly. But A or B, it's there, but I'm gonna put B.
Louis?
Dude, I don't know. I kind of like Kill Bill more than Django, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, but I'll what's it called?
It's not S tier though.
Yeah, I mean it's not S tier definitely, but like I'll go with you guys for now. I'll put it below Django.
Okay. We can kind of
B
put
sounds
everything in
good.
place, and then we can kind of argue and still
Yeah,
figure
B
it out
for
B
sure,
sounds
for
pretty
sure.
good.
collectively.
Yeah, the next one is Kill Bill Volume 2, and this one I don't enjoy as much as the first part. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that.
Yeah, it was significantly inferior to the first
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
So I mean, you could
It's
probably
still
just put
good.
it in C.
It's still good, but it's not. No, honestly, I would put it D if anything.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't want
yeah.
to. When you say it's still good, compared to the movies that we have that's not listed, it's not that good.
Yeah, it's not that
in my
good compared
opinion.
Yeah.
with
So
the rest
D.
that's out. So, D?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you just
Compared
said
to
if
this
it's not
list.
that good. You just said like out of the ones we haven't listed, it would be a D. Or like you said, it's
Okay,
not
yeah.
that good. I'm just saying
Well,
that's what you said.
yeah. Okay, I see. Okay.
Keep
we'll
in
put it
mind, we're
there
not
for now.
saying. Yeah, we're not saying that the movie was bad. We're saying the movie's not as good as these other ones on this list. Is what we're trying to say. So yeah, I would put it on D too. That sounds reasonable for this one. The next one is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And that's
Thoughts?
his most recent one, and I know Aaron wants to go first, so I'll make you go first for this one.
That's my S tier. I would put
What?
that above Django.
Dude.
Really? That's my D.
Dude, that's
That's
your
my
D?
hard D. Yeah, I didn't.
Oh my
like it at
god, no
all.
way, dude. I don't think so. I
Really?
want to put it
I
S
did-
tier, but
Wow,
it's
coming from the guy that watches the Oscar. This was nominated for Oscar.
I know
for
it was
Best
nominated.
Supporting-
But
to
I
be
just
fair-
didn't like. I didn't like the flow. I didn't
to
like
be
the
fair,
acting.
all of
I
this
didn't
was
like the
nominated. I
story.
feel like, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean most. Yeah.
most of it was nominated. So, this is
No, that's. That's.
dude, you don't like that payoff though in this fucking
no,
what?
I No, I didn't like how it. I hated the flow of this movie. That's what irritated me. The flow was just all over the place for me when I watched it,
Oh man,
and I was like,
I don't know.
Really? I was like, I don't know. I just didn't vibe with it, and I couldn't. The flow was
Okay,
weird.
so-
It was kind of like. I mean, for me, it was kind of like watching. You remember watching? I mean, not this is not Tarantino related, but did you remember like Birdman?
Birdman. Yeah.
It kind of felt like that, but like it still had like a flow to it, but it just felt like a little too messy for me, and the flow just wasn't there. And the story, like I wasn't like I get the story, but like the build, even up to the end, like the build up was like okay, I get it, but it wasn't like satisfying. Or like compared to Django, like Django's build up and the story is like it's very linear, and it's the ending solidified it for me compared to
Oh
this.
man.
So
Okay, so since you're
I'm really
saying-
surprised you guys are like harding.
I'm pretty
this
high
movie.
on that one, but it's not my S tier. Like I would put it pretty high. Okay, since you're saying it's D and Aaron's saying it's what is it?
S.
Well, let's put it
Hard B.
on B. then
Well,
and then
put on
we'll
B.
bump
Okay,
We'll
this
bump
is
everything
why
down.
I think.
All right, let me hear it,
it's-
Aaron. Let me hear it.
Just to see why I chose S because our listeners
Yeah.
don't know why I put on S. I chose S because the exact opposite of what you said. I enjoyed the flow of the movie because you do see Leo's characters throughout the story and how his life plays out. And I like how Brad Pitt's character does his own thing, and that ending for some reason like really hits different when you know the story. Because I know Jan told me this. I never heard of the case or whatever, the murder that happened or something. But when Jan told me the story after I watched it, it made more sense, and like how it's a different reality to it. So there's more meaning behind it other than there's more meaning behind that film compared to his other one, just because it had some background behind it, if that makes sense. But that's just my opinion, and like when you add that history thing, I kind of get like, oh wow, that's pretty cool how he was able to dive into that kind of world and made all these characters have like these fictional characters have like more meaning to it in a bigger scheme. I don't know, something along those lines. So that's why I enjoyed it, and it's an S tier for me.
We'll get back to it later.
Yeah, we'll discuss, because I was gonna say, that ending, that whole ending is really smart in terms of like how they executed it. Well, in my eyes, but we'll get into that later. We'll place these films where they should be. Since we put Once Upon a Time in B, do we bump Kill Bill down, or did you want to just keep it there? Yeah,
we can leave it for now.
I'd say leave it
for now. Okay, leave it for now. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the next one is my S tier. It's Inglourious Bastards, and this one is my favorite because, dude, just from that first scene alone, it's the most tense fucking scene in any fucking film. Like right out of the gate, where he's interviewing this guy who's he's like housing the Jews, right? Like he's Do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
Just that scene alone is the most tense fucking thing ever, and just from that, it just trickles into this whole fucking story. And the ending, you're talking about a satisfying ending. That fucking ending is satisfying as shit, dude. So I'm putting that S tier. I don't know about you guys.
I'll give it. My opinion is I'll give it the beginning having a very dramatic intro to the movie, but the flow, just like how Kyle said it, that didn't flow to me because I don't know, didn't Brad Pitt's character die in that movie? I was like, no, he didn't die.
No,
I forgot. It's been a while. well, what I'm trying to say is I'll watch Django over Inglourious in my opinion, but they're at the same level. I'll say they're at the same level. But if I have to choose one, I'll go Django over Inglourious. So it is up there. But I'll prefer Cowboys.
I'd put that on A. Like it's a solid A.
It's a solid A.
It's a solid A.
Yeah, I don't know, cause dude, it's not even just the beginning. It's just the way everything plays a part, and like the whole dude. Do you remember that part with Michael Fassbender was in this? Do you remember?
That was a good part too.
That scene itself is fucking crazy, and how everything plays into each other, and like everything connects by the end, and it's really fucking good to me. Like I remember as a kid, or like I watched it kind of young, so I remember not liking it. I was like, "Fuck, this movie sucked," because it might have been my first Tarantino movie, but then like as I got older and I watched it again and again, and I started getting into the movie more, and I started laughing at all the little things that was in it. And yeah, so that's my fucking S tier. Yeah, where do you guys want to put this? Because I know where I want to put this.
Put it on A, and then we'll argue for what S is.
I'll put it on A.
We'll put it on A. Okay, okay. See then. So the next one is...
So Aaron, okay, never mind. Because I was like gonna say, because like Hollywood's on B, but I guess that's just because we're both contrasting. So, but okay.
Yeah, well, that's why we'll come back to it. Yeah, but for the most part, I totally agree with Django right now and Inglourious Bastard being on the same area because I like those two. Mm-hmm. Then of course in the Once Upon in Hollywood, that'll probably be like my number one. But those two are very close to each other and similar to my liking.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we got Pulp Fiction next.
Pulp Fiction. Thoughts? If I had my own list, this would be on top of Django but below Inglourious Basterds to me.
On top of Django?
Yeah. This one's a classic, dude. It's one of those. It's literally, it harkens back to like an actual, like, you know, like the Pulp Fiction, like, you know what I mean? Like the fucking it's really good.
For me, this is in my list. I'd have this like on an A tier, on the same with Inglourious. So, Aaron, thoughts?
I'm gonna go with I'm an action guy and a guy. I've said it like the different times we've done podcasts. My first intro to Quentin Tarantino was Kill Bill. So I saw a lot of action in that. Pulp Fiction did have some action, but it was more story, and that was actually the last movie I watched before, I think, Once Upon in Hollywood. So it did have a lot of a good story, but for me, it's between B or C right now. Just looking at the list that we have now, in my opinion, B or C.
I don't. Yeah. This is one of those films that dude. Bruce Willis is really good in this one. It's like one of those few films where he cares. Like he really cares about like his acting, I guess, his character and stuff. So it's really high up there for me. But if you wanna, do you like it better than Kill Bill, Aaron?
Or is Kill Bill? I'll go Kill Bill over Pulp Fiction.
Put it in C for now, I guess.
That's just my opinion.
Oh man, that breaks my heart. But I guess we'll put it on C for now. It is
breaking my heart too.
But the next one is Reservoir Dogs. I think this
movie. Yeah. I don't remember watching this movie, but I know the movie. I just don't remember watching it, so I can't.
You don't remember like Mr. Brown, Mr. Pink, and stuff like that?
No, I feel like I watched it. I remember the title, but I just don't remember the movie.
Right. What about Aaron? Did you watch this one?
I was gonna put it on haven't watched yet in my list. So okay. You guys can totally pick for that one. I do want to watch it because I've heard good stories about it when Jen tells me about it. I do want to watch it, so it's up there for me to watch it. But you guys can totally take full reins on this, on where it should go.
I don't remember how the movie went, and I honestly I just remember the title, and I don't remember the movie, so I basically haven't watched it. Yeah, so unless you want to just share your thoughts.
Well, it's about like Reservoir Dogs is about a heist, but they don't actually show the heist. They show before and after, and it's just like it's really good. It's like his first film, I think. I think it's his first film. Don't quote me on that. But I guess like where Pulp Fiction is now in C, I would put it where C is. But since we haven't all watched it, let's just put it on haven't watched, even though yeah,
for safety.
For safety,
I'll take it.
Yeah, because we haven't all watched it. So the last one is The Hateful Eight. Kyle.
C tier. C tier.
C tier. Huh.
C tier.
I'll put above Kill Bill Volume 2. I'll put it at a C. It was more dialogue heavy with this one compared to the Django, but compared to Django, but out of those two, Django and Hateful Eight, I would put Hateful Eight at C. I would make that Western a little bit higher, Django, than Hateful Eight. And overall, just the films that we have listed, that's just my opinion, C.
Remember what I said about my favorite like genre to watch?
Yeah.
The Whodunit.
Oh, Whodunit?
This is literally that. So I don't know. This is kind of high on my list. It's kind of like even though it's not the best Tarantino film, it's like my most, I could go back and rewatch this one a lot. I think Netflix just did a thing where like they separated it into parts, so you almost watch it like a TV show.
Oh, that's cool.
Really?
Oh, yeah, you check it out, dude. It plays pretty well, and I think it's even the extended part. Like it's extended, so there's a lot more that you didn't see in the movie, and I guess I just like that part of it, and it's really good to me. But yeah, it's not his best film, obviously. Just like personally though, it's one of my it's up there for me. And if I had to choose, I would put it next to Kill Bill Volume 1.
Yeah. Okay, so just put it at B first, then we can look at it and range stuff. I don't know, like we can go off of that.
Do you want to go put it on B, and then how's about this? How's about we put these two on S?
No, there can only be one S.
Okay, it can only be one S. Shoot, fine. So I will
put that. I'd say put it in the C, and then if we need to move it up, we'll move it up.
Okay, fine. All right. So yeah, so far we have Death Proof, Reservoir Dogs, Jackie Brown on haven't watched. So we won't even take that into consideration. We'll just not talk about that. But in terms of the stuff that we did rank, what do we think so far?
I have a question for you, Louis. since you're kind of, I mean, I feel like you're more on the Hollywood side than the Django side, but explain to me as to why you think it would be
Oh,
better
no. Well,
than
dude, I
Django.
think Django's better. Obviously, like to me, I think Django's on top of it. But like, I still think
Okay.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's really good, and it's literally a love letter to Hollywood for the most part, and it's just the backdrop of like the Manson murders and that whole thing kind of just adds to the story. And you know, I guess it's in a time where that stuff happened. With what the hell's that? What's the actress's name? The one that died? Do you remember? The one that
I
Margot
forgot.
Robbie plays. Yeah, so I guess he's it's just kind of a love letter to that whole era. And the thing that's smart about it is like you know what's gonna happen at the end. Like if you know the story of like the Manson murders and how those guys like went in the house and killed you know, Sharon Tate. There we go. Like Sharon Tate and that whole fiasco from back then, it really adds tension to that scene and the fact that you know what's gonna happen. But then like it takes a 360 when who's the one that I think Leonardo DiCaprio kind of stops them and tells them like get the fuck out of my street or whatever, and it literally just switches up on you and you get scared. Like you're really getting scared about what's gonna happen with those two. And I guess the satisfying thing about it is like when Brad Pitt and them finally gets the what's it called, the like he finally gets the drop on them, and you know it's just that whole thing is really satisfying to me. So I don't know, I thought it was really smart the way that it played out. So it's really good.
Yeah, so I think whatever Jan said, that's why I liked it. I think it's just that movie, that the idea of that movie film and that love letter to Hollywood that really spoke to me for some reason, and that's why I had it so high as an S, compared to all his other films. But we can go down the line first, and do we all agree that Kill Bill Volume 2 is a D? Because I like where it's at right now.
Yeah, I'll say it's D. Yeah.
I mean, compared to everything else, yeah, I'd say we put it at D.
Mm.
Okay, then.
Although I would put something else in D. So
You
we
would
can
put
totally
something.
put another thing.
we could put Hollywood in D.
No. We're keeping
No,
Hollywood where it
no.
is. Majority rules for this one. But I would honestly, I would put Pulp Fiction on top of Hollywood. I'm just saying.
I would
that
too.
One, yeah. So we don't know. We could get into that one. What did
Well,
you
the
like?
thing is
most?
here, what do
Yeah.
we put on S? That's the big thing here, because like as soon as we put S, we can put everything in accordance.
Okay, I we can try and do that first.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna get the boot on this one, and you guys are Django. I mean, I wouldn't
No,
argue with you, I guess. But Inglourious Bastards, dude, that's on another level for me. Dominic DeCogo. Come on, man.
Okay, so
Aaron, I just need to hear you to fight for it, because
Okay.
I'll fight right back.
no, so if I'm looking at the list right now, and Django and Inglourious are up there, which we agree that they're good movies. What we said. But if I have to put on a memorable factor, and don't get me wrong, I do love Django. Inglourious did have more memorable scenes than Django. So story wise, I can go along with Django. And I know I said the flow of Inglourious, or I think I said earlier that the flow of Inglourious didn't go well for me, but it did have memorable scenes that we can like like the tension built like really quickly and stuff and that's for me, that's something I can hop on in a movie. So I can give it an edge just a little bit. But I would put it at S if
as a
if we want-
collective tier list. I think we are all in accordance that Inglorious should be an S. So I guess you can bump it up.
Okay.
Yes.
All
right.
It's just hard not to.
It's hard
but
not to. That's I don't know.
In terms of the other two, it's just kind of
like which one's a more superior film to me? Yeah, Inglourious Basterds is superior. But dude, I'll give Django the fucking that scene with Jonah Hill. Was that Django?
Dude, the movie got carried by fucking Jamie Foxx.
Hell yeah, dude. Dude, Jamie Foxx
Tarantino.
is good. Jamie Foxx is good, man. Come on.
I
Let's
know.
not.
Yeah. He's good at it.
No, I know he's good. Like I said, it depends on the director.
Yeah,
Because I mean, like him as Electrode, like,
Well, no, we can't blame him for Electro, man. Come on.
I know.
I mean, he's even coming back.
That's what I'm saying. Because
So.
we're talking about Tarantino here, and the fact that like you have. I mean, I know Jamie Foxx is a capable actor, but
dude, he did Ray, bro,
for me
before this.
yeah, but for me, from a directional standpoint, as a director, and how this movie flowed as a Western, it just. I mean, yeah, for me, it just hit home. Like,
yeah, but Christoph Waltz, man, that's his first Oscar, first major role in Inglourious Bastards, and he gets the Oscar. So, I think. Wait, you know what? Let me check.
Wait, Aaron. So, let me ask you this: which did Leo did better in acting? In Hollywood or in Django? I mean, we can argue. We can argue like all story
based on just that.
I don't think that's.
I mean, no, I'm just curious. I'm just curious. No, I'm just curious. I'm literally just curious.
Here's why.
I'm not gonna push it as a factor as to why it's better because Leo did a better acting job in one.
I liked him in Once Upon a Time, just because he was the lead in that, so he had to. In Django, he wasn't the lead. You already said Jamie Foxx was the lead.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the difference is between the two. But looking at story and like just the movie in general, I do like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So, I guess you guys just gotta convince me why it's below Django. You know, because I can put it at an A right now, in my opinion. Or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I mean, Grant. Let's see. So there's a lot of metrics too.
No, that's the only thing keeping it from getting up to A is Kyle thinks it's a D, but we're like the ones that are high on it. So like it's kind of hard to say where we're putting it. Do you want to go back to that because I feel like we're gonna take a while on Once Upon a Time.
We can go back to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I prefer Pulp Fiction over.
Yeah,
if you can convince me, then we can move it a step down. That's the only thing, because I do think Pulp Fiction is good. Like it's really good, but it's just it's not memorable for me right now. But if you can give me something to like latch onto, then I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember that over Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did have more memorable scenes right now. But if you can convince me, that's all I'm saying.
From Pulp Fiction,
I do like how it broke up into parts and I guess the payoff in the end, and it went back to the diner scene. That was pretty cool, that idea. But I guess that's all I can remember right now and stuff.
Man, do you remember the what's his name? Luther from Mission Impossible. That guy's name, Vin Rames. Do you remember when he got saved by Bruce Willis after? That was satisfying as hell to me. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah, that one scene where they're in that
dungeon thing, whatever. Yeah.
Are there? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood just doesn't ring a bell for me.
Dang, let's just both put it in C.
We'll put Pulp Fiction. Okay, so does that mean Hateful Eight goes up?
Here. No,
let's go.
Louis, no, here, Louis. Compared, because at this point it's really just kind of Louis' niche, just because me and Aaron are kind of head-on opposites in this, but
for which one?
Comparatively, compared to all of his other movies, to exclude them from each other, would you still put Django above all the others, or would you still put Once Upon, like, let's say if you remove either one from the list, would you have any other movie that you would kind of consider better over Hollywood to kind of push it over the edge? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would. Well, I would put Pulp Fiction on top of that, but if we're basing it off like this list in general, yeah, I would say Django is better than Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as a movie, maybe. It flows. It's a little more tighter, I guess, as a film. But personally, I don't know, man. Personally, I'm a Hateful Eight guy. I really like that fucking movie, dude. I don't know. That was one of the ones we watched, like that one time, and I think did we watch that New Year? Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was New Year's, and why it's there in C because I remember Sean Garcia was sleeping in it. It was that long.
I
So
forgot about
the
that.
Who Done Did It part was like in the later part, like part 8 or something in that movie.
No, what are you talking about, dude? That's like literally just the beginning, the whole introduction to Samuel L. Jackson and everyone getting acquainted and then getting thrust into that cabin, wondering what the fuck is going on. There's already an aura of like.
Oh, I guess I meant the reveal. Sorry, my bad. But
Okay.
yeah, I guess what.
No, because I don't know, just the whole aura of like, fuck, there's something up here, but we just don't know yet. And you're just interested in knowing what the dude. Kurt Russell is a fucking badass in that movie, even though he died in like by being poisoned, I guess. Right? Didn't he die? I think he died. Yeah.
Thank you.
Can you think of another movie that does the Who Did It aside from Knives Out?
Murder on the
like,
Orient
Murder. Well,
Express.
of recent memory, yeah, Murder on the Orient Express. There's back then. Well, dude, I watched fucking Clue, man. Like that, based on the board game. There's a movie. Do you remember that?
Not the movie, but
Yeah,
the
that
board
one was
game.
that was pretty good. But like, we could get into that like on a whole. Dude, Scream is a fucking whodunit technically. Because like they're trying to find out who the hell
Yeah.
Ghostface or is it Ghostface? Yeah, they're trying to find out who Ghostface is. So yeah, obviously it's been done better, but like, it's just the fact that Tarantino did one and it's like pretty fucking interesting to me. Yeah, I would put it up there. I would put it above Hollywood to me personally. But if we're going off this list,
So many factors to this.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I mean, for me, I feel like I'd be comfortable putting Hollywood
Let's
on A and Pulp on B, and then I'd be okay.
Damn.
Just for the just as a collaborative tier list, that would be like I'm okay with this, even though I disagree. But
Then
I mean,
let's
I'd definitely put Pulp over. I'll put Pulp in A. Like I'll give Hollywood a B.
But you
If
put
not,
Pulp and
yeah.
A. Are you good with that, Aaron?
for me, because for me, like Pulp is just a classic, and
Yeah, it
it kind of
is.
stapled Tarantino's like legacy in a sense as a director.
His whole style, pretty much.
And I
Yeah.
think when you bring that kind of does move it into an A. I just needed that one factor to bring it up. So it does hold up, like if I have to think like overall, not just us three, but as a movie in general, Pulp Fiction is up there for anyone that watches the movies. Like they would refer Pulp Fiction,
Mhm.
the Royale with cheese, if I'm not mistaken, or like the I don't know, those
Yep.
iconic lines and stuff. So it does have that over Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I guess where we stand now is where do we put Kill Bill? Are you guys still keeping that as a B or
Honestly, like I think it's a solid B compared to everything else.
I would.
I mean, I think this
yeah.
list is fine unless Louis wants to argue about the Hateful Eight.
I mean, honestly, that's just a personal thing, man. I just really like the
yeah,
Hateful
I
Eight.
figured, yeah.
Yeah, like that fucking the score is stuck in my head right now, just as we're talking about it for some fucking reason, dude.
The flow for me just was kind of off, and
Oh,
I don't know.
man.
And like I guess the whole like who done it kind of thing. I get like how it's interesting,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of aspects where like they're like even from like not to compare, but like watching Knives Out was kind of like okay, like I get where this is all going, and then you're like, what? Like that still doesn't make sense to me, even for a theatrical like experience. So
Are you talking about
same thing-
Knives Out, or are you talking about
Yeah.
the Hateful Eight right now? No, dude. Honestly,
Knives
a lot
Out,
of it adds up. A lot of it adds up if you really like look back. The Hateful Eight. You should really check out the Netflix one where they break it up, because it's even extended. Like they added a lot more layers into like talking about like Channing Tatum's backstory and that whole scene where they go back and explain. It's pretty interesting to me. I don't know. That's just my personal take.
so, but like, are you fine with it being a C?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's gonna hurt me, but I'll put it on C.
It's okay. You got
I'll
the
be fine.
S tier, which is
I got my S tier, so that's the good part. That's good for me. Yeah.
Are we? Is there any gripes, concerns?
Aaron, do you have any?
How about
as a collective tier list, I guess.
Are you okay with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood being a B?
Yeah, I'm okay with it being a B. I mean,
he says with rolling his eyes.
With a rolling his eyes, he put it on.
I really think it's a D.
A D?
Oh man,
I'm not gonna argue. I mean,
So
it's a collective tier list.
Kill Bill Volume 2 though.
I'm willing.
It's just for me. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. I'm willing to move it to a C because I did say Pulp Fiction is an iconic movie compared to Once Upon a Time, and I feel that Kill Bill does the same thing as well. Like, who doesn't know, the characters and the not the lines, but the scores and all that stuff. So if we have to put an iconic factor and just thinking overall again, I can move Once Upon a Time down to a C, but I wouldn't put it at a D because I don't think it's the same level as Kill Bill Volume 2.
Kill Bill Volume 1, you know
okay, we can put it to a C.
Hey, no, I don't want to bring it up.
What?
Your fucking, your entry into the whole movie fights thing.
Oh no! Please wait. Which movie was we talking about?
Because you're talking. Remember, you were talking about Kill Bill Volume 1.
Oh,
you know
Kill
why?
Bill. Oh,
because
my God.
it's a movie based on revenge.
So cringe.
But yeah, that's never getting released ever.
Never.
But I know. I'm okay with this list, I guess.
Well,
would you move it down to a C once upon a time
move
in
it.
Hollywood?
Yeah, I would. Just because.
Of course, you would.
I would. Oh no, Louis. So if you compare the two movies on B, would you consider them on the same caliber?
No. Well, definitely. Yeah, no. I don't think so.
So I think.
Yeah. So do you want to move it down to C? And
I'm willing to move it down to the C.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so before, I'm not sure if we're going to end, but what's your take on the C list right now, John? Because you said you do love the whodunit.
Yeah.
And that's a personal thing, but I'm just like...
Well, I don't just love the whodunit. Dude, the Hateful Eight by itself, even just with the fact that I love the whodunit, like, just take that out as a movie. I really, I just love the Hateful Eight. So...
Do you like where it's at?
Yeah, I would put it on the same level. I would say,
okay.
Yeah. I put it on the same level.
Okay, so we can read the
list
list one
good.
more time. Yeah, read the list
All
one
right,
more time,
so
then just to make
for-
sure, like...
As long as I got my Inglourious Bastards on S, I'm fucking perfectly fine.
Django should have been S.
No.
Anyways, so for the viewers out there, our final tier list. This is the Spit Talk tier list. Kind of collaborative tier list here. We have for Tarantino movies, we have Inglourious Bastards as S. In the A tier, we have Django and Pulp Fiction. B tier, we have Kill Bill Volume 1. C tier, we have Hateful Eight and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. D tier, we have Kill Bill Volume 2 and the ones we haven't watched, obviously. Death Proof. Louis had watched Reservoir Dogs. Well, so Louis, where would you put Reservoir Dogs if you were to put it in the list?
On this one?
Yeah.
Dude, I would put it actually on the same level as Kill Bill Volume 1. I think.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's they're confined to one area. Well, kind of, but it's more story based than it is. I don't know what you guys feel about dialogue heavy stuff, but it's really good. So I would put that in the same level as Kill Bill Volume 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if I watched that, I was gonna ask that same question too. If Reservoir Dog was haven't watched, I wonder where it would have been. I do I guess Quentin Tarantino, there's some points where he does do dialogue good or well, I mean.
That's his thing, man.
Yeah, it is. And I do prefer Inglourious Basterds dialogue again with the bar scene and the beginning scene. If Reservoir Dog has that kind of sense or a different in that same area, I can probably hop on Reservoir Dogs. I will watch it. Just finding the time to do it.
Mm-hmm. So Reservoir Dogs, and the other one we haven't watched is Jackie Brown. That one I've been meaning to watch. I just haven't gotten around to it. It's I think it's second film, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And so anything else you guys want to say to wrap it up?
I'll watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood again just to make sure. I honestly, with how I remembered it, I just...
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's worth a rewatch to go back and look. I guess from a different perspective.
I just remember like the dogs, and then like that was a good scene, and then the pool.
See, you just
But
forgot
everything.
the movie.
No, I remember the movie. Like, so there was the part where they were doing the actions. They were filming the movie, right? And then like he walked out, and then like something happened important. And
The one with
I
the
was like,
kid,
oh,
you
that's
mean?
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just watch the trailer scene again when he's in the trailer and he's trying to
Yeah, that
remember
one when
his
he's
line.
freaking out.
Yeah, that was pretty good too. I was like, that's funny. But like,
That's fucking Leo for you, dude. I don't know. I just I like Brad Pitt in that role. That's why too. Like his he's like his cool best friend kind of guy. Yeah, but Hateful Eight, man. I'm telling you, give that Netflix thing a watch. Like even just watch it weekly. I feel like it'll be a different experience ish kind of. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this tier list, and hopefully we can do another one. Other directors give us suggestions out there for our listeners. So thank you for listening to Spit Talks Podcast. Catch us on our next episode. Follow us on Twitter at Spit Talk Podcast for any updates. Once again, we are Aaron, Jan, and Kyle. See you guys. Bye.